Good morning and happy Monday. I'm Jessica Williams and welcome to Living Local 15. Thank you so much for joining me. Are you ready to kick off the week with some motivation? Here's the quote. Do one thing every day that scares you. As the saying goes, the best way to get over fear is by diving straight into it. But did you know that this method also works with overcoming anxiety? Because really, anxiety is rooted in fear. You feel anxious about something that will happen in the future, something that hasn't occurred. Anxiety is fear of an unknown outcome. For example, you're a college student and you may have anxiety about an exam because you're afraid you won't pass it. Or you may have social anxiety because you're afraid of being around a group of people. Or you may wake up with morning anxiety because you're afraid that the day won't go as planned, or the unknown is overwhelming. It's all rooted in fear. And the best way to overcome it is by running towards your fear and just doing it. Because once you get past that thing that you were anxious about, it doesn't feel like a big deal. All right, guys, on today's show, we are exploring electric bikes, which is the hottest new trend in mobile vehicles. It provides a quicker commute, it's fun, and a perfect outdoor sport. So I'm taking you inside of the headquarters of Recon Power Bikes. Also, the CityMoms joins me in studio to share road trip ideas if you are looking for a quick trip outside of Northeast Indiana. Here we go.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
You've heard of them and you've probably even seen them out in the streets. This is an electric bike, which is the hottest new trend in mobile vehicles. I am here at Recon Power Bikes Headquarters. I'm going to take you on the inside, take a tour, learn about the products, and I'm going to test drive them for the first time ever. You ready? Let's do it. Joining me now is Chris Warren, the operations manager. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
I'm so happy to be here.
Good, we're happy to have you.
Listen, I think that this place is so fascinating and what you all are doing is so cool. And the fact that it's based out of Fort Wayne, founded here, and globally distributed is very cool. So I want to learn more about Recon. So can you give us a little background?
Sure. So Recon started about 7 years ago through the design phase, getting ideas, getting traction, and then from there, we are now like you said, a globally, shipped globally.
Yeah.
So we do a couple of different main things, consumer bikes as well as law enforcement bikes are our two big avenues. And then recently, like you see behind us, is our global licensing deal with General Motors, which has really propelled us up in the industry.
Yes, that's really exciting. And really, the electric movement is happening, right? We're seeing it in vehicles and now with bikes that really allow for people to have an ease with their travel and be creative with it and not be exhausted by it. So someone like me who has asthma, I think that this is a really cool alternative to not being able to do some sports sometimes, So as you said, you hit on a couple of different areas. So the consumer aspect, people at home can buy these for different reasons. So can you share how people use them?
Sure, yeah. So people use them if they're camping at campsites, on the beach sometimes, going through mountain trails. There's a lot of different avenues. People sometimes pull equipment like trailers and things if they're fishing, for example. Really the opportunities for the consumer side are endless.
Yes, okay, and they can do local commute to get to work quicker if there's heavy traffic, especially in big cities. That's amazing. And then also, there's different ways that they can pull things around. So I see that you have wagons and you have attachments and stuff like that, which is really cool, and we'll get into that more later. But you mentioned the hunting and the fishing aspect to it. So we're standing right here in front of this bike. So let's go ahead and talk about this and some of the features that we see.
Sure, so we'll start with the bike. This is our Ranger, it's our flagship model. Like you said, hunting, it's a camo dip bike. It's a 1,000-watt mid-driven bike, so it's our flagship top-of-the-line bike. As you see, you're pulling a trailer, single-wheel trailer. There's a couple different options, but this is one that we have here today. And just to show that it can be used for hunting, we are showing a mock-up of a deer in the back of it as well.
Okay. Yeah, that caught my attention when I first walked in. I was like, okay.
And also as well, like it does have side, different bags and different accessories you can outfit it with, just to pull more gear and more utility things with you.
Yes, that's so awesome. And really the concept behind the EV bike, or EV bike or e-bike, yeah, EB, we'll just call it EB. The concept is really that people have an option. If they do want to pedal, they can, but this gives an assist, right?
Yes.
So kind of break down that technology of how that works.
Sure, so you hit it exactly right. There's 3 ways to ride the bike. You can ride with no motor assist at all. You can ride with what's called pedal assist, PAS. There's 5 levels. So as you are pedaling, the motor is increasing, with increasing levels is giving you motor assist.
Okay.
And the last, more fun way arguably, is with no pedaling at all and using just a thumb throttle.
Okay, and that's just cruising. So that means that the bike will propel without you having to actually pedal.
Yes.
Okay, that's really cool. And with different activities that people do outside, right? This can kind of handle any texture of ground. So from mountain climbing, in a sense, if you're out fishing, if you're out hunting, but also on the beach. Yeah, so share with me just a couple of ways that people use this in a unique way that you have seen.
Ooh, I'd say the most unique way is beaches, like you said. Remote camping, just to take firewood from one place to another.
Okay, yeah.
On very small trails where, let's say, an ATV can't go. You have to get something even smaller to be able to fit in there. So using our bikes with a trailer, firewood's one that I can think of off the top of my head. And then oftentimes, if you're in a crowded fishing spot, sometimes the best spot is a mile down the road. So you can put your poles in the back and take it wherever you need to go to get away from the crowd.
Okay, and with these attachments, so over here with this one is a really cool one that you said people can use for the beach as well. You can put your coolers, you can put your beach towels, maybe not your kid.
I wouldn't recommend it, no.
Yeah.
But this one, like you said, this is a very utilitarian trailer, so you can actually fold it completely flat. So it opens up the opportunity to put a lot more things on it than just this footprint right here.
That's very nice, very nice. And then of course, with this being an electric device, you have to charge it, of course.
Absolutely.
So how does the charging work on it?
So it's very simple. So you can charge the battery while it's in the bike.
Okay.
So if it's in your garage, for example, or you can take the battery out of the bike.
Oh, there's a little lock on it, okay.
And you can take it, let's say, into your office or into your shop or inside your RV, for example, and charge it wherever you need to.
That's so cool. And I noticed that there's a lock on it so you can make sure that no one can take
Exactly.
it. Which you guys thought of everything with creating this device. I can't believe it's just been 6 to 7 years because this product is just so innovative. I mean, you guys have grown significantly over that amount of time. It became, what, the top distributor for EVs?
For law enforcement,
Electric.
absolutely.
Okay, for law enforcement. That's incredible. Okay, so we talked about the battery in the sense, you put it back on there, yeah. So we talked about the battery and how it can easily be removed and put back on there, look at that. But then there's also a solar charge panel right here. So tell me how this works.
So for instance, we talked about the hunting and the camping and the remote opportunities that, you can ride it anywhere. So if you are remote, there's no way to charge it unless you have a generator, for example, or you have a solar panel. So we've developed solar panels that you can basically take with you wherever you need to recharge your battery. So a lot of people often buy 2 batteries and they'll always have one charging on a solar panel, and when they get back for the night or from whatever activity they were doing, they always have one that was fully charged so they can swap them out.
Okay, that's incredible. Yeah, so this type of technology is just so innovative, and I know that you all have grown significantly over the last 7 years, and one of your major accomplishments that happened last year was your partnership with General Motors, which is so cool. So you guys created this Hummer EV bike back here, and it's special licensing through GMC, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so share with me about this product and kind of let me know how, what people can expect and how they can access it.
Sure. So Like you said, we had a global licensing deal with General Motors to allow us to use the Hummer name. It came about, General Motors wanted a bike to complement the GMC Hummer, which is, when you think about it, an off-road vehicle. It's big, it's bad, and most importantly, it's 100% electric. So the idea was to, with their partnership, create a bike that fit right in with the brand. So we have here an all-wheel drive electric bike.
Wow.
So meaning you can select front-wheel drive only, rear-wheel drive, or use them both together and ride it in all-wheel drive.
Nice.
And any person can actually access this on our website, reconpowerbikes.com, or if their local GMC dealer has them in stock, they can go there and pick one up as well. And if they don't, make sure that you ask them about it so they
Right.
can buy it from us.
I love it. Of course, the beautiful white Hummer color, and yeah, it kind of has everything. So speaking of, you guys have such a strong consumer base when it comes to police, security, military, federal agencies, because you guys provide these bikes that can allow for them to get to emergencies.
Yes.
Which is so cool. So share with me a little bit more about that.
So yes, so our big motto for law enforcement is safer, further, faster. So you can use the thumb throttle, for instance, and arrive to a call or on scene without being fatigued. You can go further on a bike patrol than you would on a standard bike, again, without being fatigued. And it's safer because it's actually a heavier bike, and it reduces the amount of pinch flats you can have and over the front handlebar collisions or over the front handlebar crashes that normal bikes experience.
Yes, and that's really amazing that you can travel at that faster pace. And I know that you have police vehicles here and also for fire and EMS.
Yes.
So how do these really work and help them with their job?
Sure, so like we touched on before, you can patrol faster, further, safer. Especially in Florida, for example, where it's very hot, officer fatigue is a big deal.
Yes.
So in those southern states, that's a huge plus. And it's also got a cool factor to it too.
Yeah.
But for fire and EMS, that's one that's a little bit different than police. You're not actively patrolling, so that's one where you might be on call at a large event like a fireworks show or a parade or a football game where you're on call to give aid if someone goes down with an injury, for example.
Yes, and if you're at a festival and there's so many people around, you really can't drive a car in the middle of the crowd.
Yeah, a bike is much more maneuverable.
Yes, or if you're stranded somewhere, if you're out hunting or mountain climbing, you have a really bad accident, there's a stretcher here that really allows for someone to be transported.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool. And something else is that you guys really have grown in a way of getting into all of the security facilities, in the sense of you work with the FBI, which is so cool. You provide for so many police departments, college campuses, and just anyone who needs this type of motor vehicle around. I was like, what did they do before? Just get exhausted, just traveling. So now you all have that ability. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's
so
a very
cool.
niche market.
Yeah, very cool. And one other thing I have to tell you is that on the police bike, they have a little siren. Scared me. And then this here reads license plates, and they have the bag, so it really is fully equipped.
And don't forget about the lights too.
Oh,
So you can
oh, look at that.
Turn the lights on.
Official, but this purchase is for police officers only.
absolutely.
Okay, so I'm so excited to be able to try out and ride and test out some of these vehicles. So we're gonna do a joyride. All right, guys, stay tuned.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
Right now is the perfect time to take a vacation, and what better way than to hop in a vehicle and take a road trip? You don't have to travel all the way down to Florida to have some fun. So we're going to show you some travel tips today that you can experience in the Midwest. And joining me is Janine from the CityMoms. Hi, Janine.
Hi there.
How's it going?
So good. I'm really excited to talk about this today.
Right. So basically, we're in a very prime location being here in Fort Wayne, because
Yes.
you can literally travel to so many neighborhoods neighboring cities. And so you're going to give us a sneak peek into some of those today.
I am. I have two that I want to showcase for you today.
Okay.
And it's just such an easy drive from Fort Wayne to our option one, which is Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, yes.
So Detroit, known as the Motor City, it's known as Motown. There's so much happening downtown, and they've really gone through a huge glow up over the past 10 years.
Okay,
so
nice.
really walkable downtown environment, tons of cultural neighborhoods, great food, and one of the best things is within a square mile of themselves, they not only have Comerica Park, where the Tigers play, they have Little Caesars Arena, where the Pistons and the Red Wings play.
Okay,
They have many
nice.
theaters, tons and tons to do downtown. So our first thing that we'd love to showcase in Detroit is Motown Museum.
Oh, that looks fun.
It is
Okay.
such a great spot. They just reopened after a big remodel, and these are the original studios for Motown, some of the hit artists, I mean, that all of us know, I mean, just like so integral to American music. So
Yeah, I'm like Motown. That is
Right.
the groove. That's the soul. That's
Sugar
the
pie, honey
music.
bunch. You're gonna have that in your
Yes.
head the rest of the day. But Four Tops, the Temptations, the Supremes. So these are their original recording studios, and they've now expanded this into a beautiful museum. Must see when you're in town.
Okay, yeah, that's on the list. Okay.
It's on the list. And then our second on the list for Detroit is just to get out and walk the waterfront. So one of the most beautiful things about Detroit, it's literally international waters.
Wow.
You can stand on the riverfront, enjoy even biking up and down the riverfront, restaurants, there's plazas, but you'll be looking right across the river at Canada. So
okay.
super just kind of like a fun, different thing you wouldn't get in a lot of
Yeah.
areas. And then the third place that we have to highlight when you're in Detroit is the Henry Ford Museum.
Oh, okay.
So the Henry Ford Museum is the Museum of Transportation Innovation. So again, think Motor City.
Yes, yes. Okay,
They have
gotcha.
the original Model T. They have the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. They have a huge locomotive that is so fun for kids to see. Lots going on at Henry Ford, and that is just an absolute must put on your list.
Okay, I love those. Those are some really great options. Okay, and I'm
Yeah.
sure there's so much more to explore, but those are
Yes.
some top attractions.
Definitely. And Michigan Tourism always says your trip begins at michigan.org. So that's the perfect website to start on and plan your trip.
Plan. Okay, so that's if we're going up north.
Yep.
Now, what about if we want to go down south and stay in Indiana?
Yes. Okay. So stay in Indiana, and I want to send you to Indianapolis.
Okay,
And that's
yeah.
actually where I just drove in from today. So it's one of my favorite cities by far.
Yeah.
Indianapolis.
After Fort Wayne. No.
Of course. Absolutely. So Indianapolis is known as the Circle City. It's also known as the racing capital of the world. And
Really?
we're gonna tease out maybe a few things to do in Indy that'll pay off both of those.
Okay, yeah,
So
let's do it.
First up is the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. Not a lot of people know this. It is literally the world's largest children's museum.
Wow.
And it's based right in Indy. So you're going just 2 hours from Fort Wayne, and you can land in the world's largest children's museum. So this is 5 floors of fun. They have a massive outdoor sports legend experience park that is just opening up for these warm months.
Yeah.
And they've just launched a Minecraft exhibit. So if you have a STEM-focused kiddo, this is definitely going to be their go-to.
Wow, I love that. A museum specifically catered to children. That is important.
And really all ages, even as adults, we would find so much to
Right.
do there. It's great. So that's option 1 if you're in Indy.
Okay.
Option 2, downtown. We were talking about the walkability in Detroit. Indianapolis, very similar.
Okay.
Very popular for conventions and conferences. Lots of food downtown, lots of attractions. The Idle Jorg Museum is one of our favorites downtown. So this is a museum that's all focused on Native American culture and Western art. You're going to find a lot here to do. They've just redone the entire lower level for a really family-friendly area. That's located in White River State Park. Tons there.
Yeah.
And then third, we can't go by without mentioning the racing capital of the world, Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I mean, racing season is going to be here. They always
the
say,
world, wow.
They always say, is it May yet? Or
Yeah.
this is May.
Okay, so that's the big month
Yes.
for the
Indy
motorsports.
500.
Okay.
I mean, it's coming
Nice.
up right after in that Memorial Day weekend. And while you're in town in Indy, you can go to the track. You might actually be able to kind of to check out some of the racing teams that are there, just kind of practicing around the track.
Nice.
They offer tours. There's a great museum on site. So much to do. So visitindy.com is the website to start kind of your Indianapolis planning trip.
Right, I love that. And of course, just with those ideas, there's so many more. I mean, we have Chicago sitting a couple of hours.
Absolutely.
One way, Cleveland, Ohio.
Cincinnati, St.
Yeah.
Louis. There's so much to do in the Midwest.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for pointing out those specific highlighted attractions in these cities because, you know, it's time to hop in the car and go somewhere.
Absolutely. We have a whole road trip section up on the website at thecitymoms.org. So
Perfect.
hopefully kind of get your wheels turning. I'm so sorry I just used that pun. But wheels turning for your road trip.
No, I love it. Thank you so much, Janine.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. As Janine said, you can check out the City Moms website for more travel ideas, road trips, and they just give you good lifestyle tips in general. If you would like more information, you can check out their website, which is listed below. And I'll see you after the break.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
Well, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for joining me. To catch up on episodes of Living Local 15, you can head to WANE.com and also download the WANE app. And remember, do one thing every day that scares you. I hope you have an amazing Monday, and I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Have an idea for the show? Want to find out how you can be a guest? Contact us at livinglocal15@WANE.com. Go to the Living Local 15 page on WANE.com for recipes from the show, to watch a segment again, and to get information on products and services featured on Living Local 15. Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.